Good morning and welcome to Tuesday. It's just gone 11 and just having my first sit down of the day. Been busy getting chores done, and I went back to bed for an hour as well after school drop off, so that's done me the world of good. I had a good sleep. I slept all through the night, which is brilliant, and I feel like a new woman. I have to be really careful of my sleep patterns now I know about my bipolar disorder, because the too much sleep is not good, but especially not enough sleep is really not good, and that can be a sign that hypomania is arriving, or it can actually trigger hypomania as well. So yeah, I've got to keep an eye on my sleep, and my sleep's not been great the last fortnight. So yeah, I hope, fingers crossed, that I'm back on a good stretch of quality sleep. Have to see tonight, obviously. So I've just made my barley coffee. Someone was asking me if I knew about what was it? Chicory coffee and also dandelion root. So here in France, chicory coffee is very popular. Well, from what I gather, it's very popular for a certain age or certain generation, sort of on the older end of the generations, who it's very common they'll add chicory into their coffee, alongside their coffee, and we've even been to a very old-fashioned cafe before, where you go in and you're essentially in someone's living room, and the kitchen is their kitchen. Behind the bar there is a bar, and the lady there makes coffee half with chicory, which is quite fun. And yeah, dandelion root I drank a lot of as a student. When I was in the UK studying in Bristol, it was a drink that I'd grown up with at home, and was really nice. But as far as I'm aware, I can't find any in France. Again, all of these opinions are just my opinions. I am going to have a good look tomorrow when we go to the whole food shop, as our local one's recently got bigger, so I'm going to see if they do have any, because it's a gluten-free alternative to coffee, and also it's just really yummy. So yeah, I'll just have a sip of mine in a Christmas mug. I did in the past have lovely handmade mugs, but unfortunately with young children they just get broken. And so yeah, we're at a time in our lives where just for us it's easier to have sort of more standard mugs that we get secondhand, and that also we get given, because we get through mugs as if they're going out in fashion, unfortunately. Anyway, I'm sat here, the floor's been swept, the washing up done. I just had a little clean around the kitchen, which I find really satisfying, and I'm actually waiting for my nurse to turn up. So it's a psychiatric nurse from the outpatients department down in town, and she used to work on the ward that I've been to when I've been hospitalised. So although I never knew her there, I've only ever known her as outpatients, but she knows intimately what it's like in hospital, and that kind of helps me when I've had to go in the past, to sort of, yeah, reassurance. And she's very good. We've been working on like stigma at the moment, in the last last few months really. That's one of the things we'll talk about. I don't currently see a psychologist. In France, you generally have to pay privately for psychologists, unless I were to go through the outpatients down in town, and I've met that psychologist before, both at outpatients and inpatients, and when I'm at hospital I have to see her once a week, and it's not really a person that I feel comfortable with and I trust. So yeah, I don't see her at all unless I have to. And the a young psychologist I saw for quite a long time. I've not seen her for 2 years. She's a cognitive behaviour trained psychologist, and that approach really speaks to me. I was familiar with it from my later teens when I attended an ME clinic. That was one of the ways that the group sessions were organised, and when we had homework regarding different aspects of life with ME, sleep patterns, rest, post-exertional malaise, yeah, all different things, fatigue management and stuff like that. Anyway, so Helene will be here. It's 11:15. She says, oh, I'll arrive between 11:15 and 11:30 because there's a lot to do. But I'm just keeping an eye out. I don't want to be filming when she walks nearby, walks to the front door. But yeah, I'm very, very lucky and privileged. I think even within France, of the care I get from the local mental health team, everything I receive in terms of person to person is free, so I don't pay for my psychiatrist appointments. I've actually got my monthly one this week on Thursday. Don't pay to see the mental health nurse. I don't pay for my prescriptions because bipolar is considered it's officially a long-term illness condition. So when I have blood tests regarding my medication, I had one 3 weeks ago, actually on my birthday, so a fortnight ago, to check my levels of one of my mood stabilizers. All of that is free, and anyway, our family, we get free healthcare because we're on a lower income threshold. So I know it's not the same for everybody in the world, and I know that also the access to care is not equal across France even. Psychiatry is a service that's extremely underfunded, understaffed, overworked, and yeah, it's kind of slowly becoming one of my passions, kind of understanding more about psychiatry, how things work, how hospital admissions work and things. Even hospital, I've been 4 times to hospital, and the last 3 times in my local psychiatric hospital have always been very positive. I've felt trustful and reassured and helped. My first one was different, on a mother and baby unit, just after my daughter was born, a very, very long way away, like I think 200 kilometers away from where I live. Yeah, that was a whole different experience, and yeah, I won't go into that now, but I'm happy to talk about it. But I'm conscious that the clock is ticking by, and I just want to prepare myself. So yeah, Helen is coming. That's going to be the main kind of activity of the day, and yeah, I'm feeling rested, which is good, and I've got a nice coffee to begin with our lovely Christmas mug. Look, it's got these gnomes that I think are quite popular for knitters, particularly this little one here. I've not actually made a knitted gnome before, but they look really fun. I know quite a lot of knitting friends who have made some and then kind of got really enthusiastic about making them, which I think is fun. So yeah, maybe one day I'll be caught by the gnome knitting bug. Anyway, I'm going to turn off for now and see you again in a while. Hi, just got back from my walk, and I only did half an hour, which was the perfect amount for an after lunch walk. And got some more barley coffee. This was the other half that I didn't drink this morning. This is a favourite mug. This is a beautiful, beautiful mug that one of my knitting friends from Norway sent me. It's only me allowed to use this mug. If anyone touches it, they're in trouble. it's a bit hot for a minute. Yeah, so I had my appointment this morning with the nurse, and that went really, really well. She thinks that I'm doing really well at the moment. And yeah, is just really pleased with everything, with all the hard work that we put into place for daily management. I'm taking my medication properly at the moment, and I'm managing to work through some things which I've been unable to face for quite a long time. So that's really good, it's really positive. I'm seeing my doctor on Thursday, so that will be a 6-week since my last appointment. She'll have the blood test results for my medication, and just for some little, like, they have to keep an eye on like my liver function and my thyroid and things like that, just to check that everything's going okay. And the nurse said that I had really good results, so she was really pleased with that, and so I am too. And yeah, I've managed to just have a walk. I can't remember if I said. I've just got back from a half-an-hour walk, which is, I can feel the endorphins like boosting my mood. I'm going to just be quiet for the rest of the afternoon. It's 2:45, so I'll be picking my daughter up at 4:30. So I'm going to just see if I can engage in some sort of little activity now, and I'll be able to do some, well, unless I'm really tired, I'll be able to do something in the evening, as we've only got my daughter here at the moment. Bedtime's a bit later with my son, and it's me reading to him at the moment. We are reading, at the moment we're reading Artemis Fowl, which is a really good series. This is our third in the series, and this one's actually my favourite so far. It's written by an Irish author. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the first name. And yeah, I read the first one when it came out as a teenager, or yeah, older teenager, and the writer's been making plenty since. It's yeah, it's sort of funny because it's so it's the early 2000s. It's Artemis Fowl is a criminal mastermind, and he discovers that fairies do exist and they have a lot of gold. And in the first one he kidnaps a fairy. I won't say any more, but it's sort of funny because it's like a kind of, it's not how you'd expect fairies to be. So yeah, it's a really good story, and I'm really enjoying this one. So we tend to read, so my husband will read like for a while, for a book, and then I'll read. We'll sort of alternate, so he gets French and English stories, and it's the same for my daughter. We sort of alternate. With my daughter we're sort of diving into Enid Blyton, which is fun. We're reading The Magic Faraway Tree at the moment. Well, when the time allows and I can read to her a little bit before with Big Brother, we're reading The Magic Faraway Tree. And yeah, so it's interesting being a bilingual family, how one of the ways that I ensure that the children are developing their English is through stories. Audiobooks as well. I have access to the audiobook loan system through my home library where my parents live. I'm still subscribed there, and I take audiobooks for me. In the past we've had a lot of audiobooks for the children. We've kind of taken a break on that at the moment, just because it doesn't quite fit in with things, but we I have been borrowing ebooks from with my son as well, so we're slowly also working our way through the young James Bond series, which we really love. It's a bit gruesome at times. He maybe is a little bit too young for it, but reading it together we sort of talk about things as they happen, and when it's really gross we just skip over that bit. So yeah, somebody was asking me about being a bilingual family. As I had said a couple of episodes ago, if you have any questions about anything like life in France, being bilingual, obviously my fibre, craft, spinning, weaving, natural dyeing, yeah, life in France, anything, please feel free to leave me a question. It doesn't have to be on this one, it can be on another episode, and then I'll try to answer your question. So yeah, somebody was asking me, do I dream in both languages? So I would consider myself fluent in French. I don't know every single word, I'm always learning new things, but I'd say grammar-wise, I kind of have covered everything in my undergraduate degree, and obviously I make mistakes, and I'm not teaching at the moment, and I'm not writing French or English really anymore, so I know I'm making a few mistakes and I can't always explain things anymore, but I'm hoping maybe to get into teaching again sometime in the near future, so I will try and get my teaching books back from where they're stored. And yeah, I recently got French citizenship, which is really exciting. So yeah, I am officially French and British. Yeah, so French is a big part of my daily life, although I try as much as possible to be strict and I speak only English with the children. Sometimes it just so happens that, you know, we'll be in French. It's just what happens really, and I don't feel the pressure anymore to only be in English like I did a few years ago, because our daughter took a little while, a lot longer than our son to start speaking in English. And yeah, 3 years ago I was quite anxious about that fact, because I want to be able to communicate in English with my children, share with them as much as possible my love of literature, music, films, theatre, all the things like the history and you know, all of that I have grown up with, that has developed in me. I want as much as possible for that to develop for them. I appreciate that it's not the same as living in the country, but I do get like nostalgia sometimes when I read about, I don't know, where I grew up. There's a lot in Dorset in the southwest of England. There's a lot of like burial grounds, for example. There's Roman roads, and it sounds really stupid, but sometimes I get kind of nostalgic for, yeah, just like local history museums. And if we're watching an English language film and they're crossing the road and you get the sound of the crossing, like because you press a button and it goes beep beep beep, hearing expressions, hearing we were watching a Ken Loach film 10 days ago. We saw, it's the last Ken Loach film called The Old Oak. Brilliant film, see it if you can. And I knew immediately that it was set in the northeast of England because of their accents, and yeah, it's kind of funny. I get these funny pangs of nostalgia. But yes, so back to the question, do I dream in French or in English? And I would say I dream in both. I don't dream in both at the same time necessarily, but I know when I wake up, I'll know, if I can remember my dream, I'll know whether it is in English. I ran out of space on my card. Too much chatting. I just ran out of space on my card, so I'll switch around. Yeah, so I was talking about dreaming. So what will happen is I think I dream in English if I'm dreaming about something English. So generally it's dreams about my family, or kind of dreams set in places I have lived before, like secondary school. Yeah, it could be visiting a friend, or I mean, my dreams, I think everyone's dreams are, you know, a bit weird. Interesting, I don't remember my dreams as much as I used to. I used to have very, very vivid dreams, and that's kind of calmed down a little bit. So, and then I will have dreams in French. And the thing with French at the moment is I still can struggle. Like this morning with my nurse, she said something, I mean, it was very technical language. French people seem to love talking. I've noticed French people enjoy using technical terms for like health things that, you know, I don't really know what they mean. So she said something I didn't understand. I just said, oh, what does that mean? It's not a problem. It would only be a problem if I was taking an exam. But I kind of have learnt how to understand things generally around the context they're in, so I'll sort of know roughly what's happening based on what was said before and what was said after. And it's the same with reading. I've started reading The Count of Monte Cristo, which is an enormous book. I'll have to show you sometime if I remember. And I'm reading it with a dictionary just so I can enjoy the new vocabulary that's presented to me. But I read it with a French only single language dictionary, so I'm not like translating it into English like I would have done before. And that was how I used to do things at uni. I sort of feel like I've gone beyond. It's not necessary for me to always understand things fully, or it doesn't matter if I miss a word. And I still can't easily eavesdrop in French. That I find difficult. I find it difficult, for example, if the radio is on at home and it's the news, but there's also the children, or there's also that I'm washing up and there's noise from that, or the washing machine. So I do listen to things a lot in my headphones. And I don't, so like when we'll go on the ferry, back to England for a visit, I just love to sit there and there's English families around me and I can kind of just eavesdrop, like not because I'm being rude and I want to know their business, but just like having the ability to do that, being able to zone out of blot out everything and just focus on what they're saying, or like in a cafe, the people next door and stuff. And I can also tell, I can kind of identify English speakers, particularly British people, a mile off, like if we're at the market or something, because it's just even if I can't hear exactly what they're saying, it's just like the intonation, the kind of sound that comes out of their mouth. So yeah, fun question. I grew up with a Swiss grandmother, French speaking, and also my sister-in-law is Danish, so it was always, when I was younger, it was like a classic question I'd ask them, but what language do you dream in, particularly to my grandma, and unfortunately I can't remember what she used to say, but yeah, it was like a fun topic for me. And I'm not sure with the children. I found as soon as they both started school, French was kind of dominating, and I found that quite hard. But I also had found it hard when I first moved in with my husband, now husband, in 2010. It was during my year abroad, well not a year, it was during my work experience in France, and so I was working in French, I had French friends, I had a French boyfriend. Oh, and French just, we'd go to cinema and watch French films and French radio, French music. Like, I just felt overwhelmed by French. There was just too much French. And I was really lucky at that moment. My brother came to visit us for a few days, and my Australian friend married to a French man, who she's a few years older than me, and she was really, really good at advice. She was like, right, you need to let him see you in your own language with your family member. Insist on speaking English the whole time, even with him, and yeah, he needs to see who you are to begin with. Because I think I am, yeah, again at the time, like a friend mentioned it when she came to visit. She said, oh, you're so different in France and you're so different in French, like you're more confident and you're more at ease and more relaxed. And I think I would agree with that at the time. I mean, now it's kind of I don't know what other people feel like who are living abroad, but bilingually, you do kind of develop a different personality at the start, and then I think if you sustain being abroad, your personalities kind of mesh together and you kind of almost become a new person. And so I was born and brought up in the UK, but I came to France on my own when I was 22, 21. Yeah, I had my 22nd birthday quite soon after I arrived, and I came back officially to live here full-time when I was 25. I was here for 18 months initially in the Pyrenees, doing my work experience, and had to return to university for 2 years, which was a bit hard, particularly hard one, feeling homesick for a place that's not my home, because that's where my partner lives. I feel like I grew up in France, like I grew into the adult that I am. Obviously there's the influence of my family, like not underestimating that at all. But yeah, I would say that yeah, that I've grown up here. Like, I didn't get a chance to say it to the examiner when I took my final interview for my citizenship, but French is English is my mother tongue, and French is like my godmother tongue. They're both part of me, and I can't imagine ever one or the other being removed anymore, because I do know when I was back for 2 years in Bristol where I studied, if I was listening, well I was, because I was studying French, so I'd be listening to things and watching things and reading things, and whenever there would be that southwest accent, I was really nostalgic for France. So, and I kind of always knew that I was going to live in France from a really young age, growing up with a grandma who had moved across land and sea to come and live and make her life abroad. I just found that really inspiring, and I just knew that that was going to be for me. So yeah, that's a bit of my background to living in France. That's really fun to think about things like that. But yeah, please do ask any more questions. Hello, it's Sunday afternoon editing Fran. Please excuse me being in my pyjamas still. Yeah, I did keep talking for a bit longer, but I was finding that episode a bit long. So yeah, I'm going to cut it here. And yeah, just wish you a lovely end of your day. And yeah, if you have any more questions about anything, I loved answering that question about being bilingual and dreaming in 2 languages. So yeah, I'm pleased to share some more. But until next time, I'm going to say goodbye for now. And yeah, take care.